Hi, grade 8, or whoever else is looking at this. So let's take a look at another thing we're going to do, solving equations using algebra. Okay, and remember what we talked about, that whenever we're doing algebra or solving equations with a variable, what we want to do is we want to isolate that variable. That means to get it by itself. And there's two rules to remember, and we covered these in class. Okay, one of them is that we have to do the opposite of whatever is happening to the variable. So the opposite of what's happening to the variable. And the other rule to remember, that what you do to one side, you do to the other. And so these rules are super important to remember. So let's take a look at an example. Let's say I have the example 3b plus 7 equals 19. Now my variable is b, okay, and let's take a look at what's happening to it. Well, here it's being multiplied by 3, and here it's being added by 7. And so if we remember with equations, there's always two sides, the left side and the right side. And these two are equal to each other. Okay, so first thing that we want to do, we want to isolate the variable, get the variable by itself. And right now the variable is right here. So what I have to get rid of, first of all, is this. So this is a plus 7. It's being added to 3b. So we're going to do the opposite of adding 7. So remember the rule, do the opposite of what's happening to the variable. So if this is a plus 7, the opposite of that is a minus 7. And we're going to minus 7 from this side, and what I do to one side, I do to the other, so I'll minus a 7 on this side. This is what it looks like. So I'm going to write out my equation again, plus 7, 3b plus 7, now minus 7. And if I minus 7 on one side, I have to minus 7 on the other side. So back to the left side, 7 minus 7, well, it's a 0, so they just cancel out. I don't need to write the 0. Now all I'm left with here is a 3b. Now on this side, I have 19 minus 7. So 19 minus 7, well, that's 12. Okay, so 3b equals 12. That's my equation. Now, we still have to isolate the variable. So here, this time, the variable b is being multiplied by 3. So what's the opposite of being multiplied by 3? Well, to divide by 3. So if I divide this side by 3, I have to divide the other side by 3. Because the rule says what I do to one side, I do to the other. Okay. Now let's take a look what happens here. So 3b divided by 3. The 3's are opposite to each other, so they cancel out. And all I'm left with here is now the variable b, and it's by itself, so now it's isolated. And b is equal to, and I simplified my right side, 12 divided by 3, or 12 over 3. That simplifies to 4. So b is equal to 4. So now, the next thing, remember what we do is what's called a verify. I'm going to write a V for verify. I'm going to check my answer. So in order to check my answer, I'm going to rewrite my equation. 3b plus 4 is equal to 19. Oh, not plus 4, sorry. My mistake. That should be a plus 7 equals 19. Draw a line under the equal sign to show the difference between the left side and the right side. So the right side is simplified, it's 19. So that means on the left side, I should end up with 19. Well, let's see how we do this. So b, I said, was equal to 4. So I substitute 4 for b. Okay, and then I still have my 7. So 3 times 4 is 12. 12 plus 7 is 19. Oh, and now on the right side, I have 19. So the left side and the right side equal each other. That means this answer is correct. Okay. Let's take a look at another 2 examples. Okay. So here I have 16x minus 69 equals negative 13. Okay, I want to isolate my variable. So variable right now is being multiplied by 16x, but we're also taking away 69. So we're going to get rid of this first, this 69. This is a minus 69. So the opposite of a minus 69 is a plus 69. So to this side, I'm going to do the opposite of minus 69, which is plus 69. And what I do to one side, do to the other. So I added 69 here. I'm going to add 69 here. Back to the left side. These are opposite, so it cancels out. I'm left with only 16x. Now, I simplified this. Negative 13 plus 69, well, that's equal to 56. Okay, now, I have to get rid of this 16. 16 is multiplying the x. So the opposite of multiplying 16 is dividing 16. And I do that to both sides. 16's cancel. On the left side leaves me with x. And now I have this 56 divided by 16. I can do this on my calculator, and I will get 3.5. Okay, now we'll do a verify. To verify, write out the equation. 16x minus 69 is equal to negative 13. Line under the equal sign. Let's do my substitutions. X, I said, was equal to 3.5. Put 3.5 in place of x, and then minus 69. So do this math here. 16 times 3.5. If you use your calculators, you'll get 56. Now 56 minus 69, you can use your calculators again. We'll end up with a negative 13. And what do we have on the right side? Negative 13. So these two are the same. They balance. The left side is equal to the right side. That means this answer is correct. All right, let's take a look at another one here. This time, we've got the variable on the right side. The process is still the same. So let's do this together. So I have a negative 3x plus 4. So I need to get rid of this first, this plus 4. What's the opposite of a plus 4? Well, that's a minus 4. So I'm going to take 4 away from both sides. So take the 4 away over here. Good. And I do the same thing on the other side. Take 4 away. What I do to one side, I do to the other. Here, these cancel out. And I'm left with a negative 3x on the right side. 22 minus 4 on the right side, well, that simply just gives me 18. Okay, so now what do we do? In order to isolate the variable, I have a negative 3 multiplying the x. So the opposite of multiplying by negative 3 is to divide by negative 3. Don't forget your negative signs. That's super important. Well, negative 3 divided by negative 3, okay, it's going to be, they cancel each out, and I'll end up with a positive x. Now, I'll do the same thing over here. Divided by a negative 3. 18 divided by negative 3, that gives me negative 6. Time to verify. So, once again, to verify, write out the equation. Line under the equal sign to separate the left side and the right side. We said what x was equal to negative 6, put negative 6 in place of x, and then add the 4. So let's do this. Negative 3 times negative 6, well, that gives me a positive 18. Positive 18 plus 4, that gives me 22. So I have 22 on the right side, and I have 22 on the left side. So these two are the same. The left side and the right side equal. That means this answer is correct. X is equal to negative 6. Okay, hopefully that helps. If you have any questions, you know how to get a hold of me. Okay, so use this lesson or use this information to do the next